Hello everyone, and welcome back to Let's Play Stellaris, the 4.0 update. I'm your host, Colors Fade. It's our Democracy of Elandria Empire. It's episode 4. It's the year 2229. We have some construction ships that need to be put to work. We also have a person who needs to be upgraded here with a new talent. Mr. Spock has gotten a new talent. Give him anomaly research speed or survey speed. Let's add survey speed to him. Over here, Estelle is surveying. She's got a anomaly over here, but I would kind of like to know what's over here. So go survey that first. This person is about to capture this planet, which is going to be a great choke point for us. So we have 93 influence. Let's go get that. And then we can backtrack and get the rest of that. The Enterprise is over here with Mr. Spock, and he says, what should I do? Well, these guys are friendly to us now, the spaceborne amoeba, because we pacified them. We know how to operate our engines around them. So we're good there. We're getting a little low on consumer goods, though. So let's take a look at what some of our worlds are doing here. This is a mining world, and it currently has about half its workers working the mining jobs. There's an agri world over here with some extra metallurgy jobs, and they're getting close to being tapped out on farmers, which is okay. The Last of Us is over here. It's an agri world. It's got a lot of farmers working, and it's still got a few colonists, so we'll put them all over on farming, and we don't need any colonists. And then the other thing you can do is up here, we've got a lot of housing available, and we've got a lot of amenities. Notice how we have everybody working the entertainer jobs here. What we'd really like them working is the roboticist jobs. So we're going to favor those. In fact, I think this is a good thing for you to remember is that anytime you start using robots and you put down robot assembly plants, go favorite that job so it creates those pops. Here, in this case, we have most of the people are working those food jobs. So we're going to need more farming jobs soon, and we're building an archives here for research. I may change my mind about that. Let's see what our other planet is doing. We're doing mixed in industry here. Okay, that's good. In that case, we'll leave this to keep making archives so we can put research on this planet, and we'll say go ahead and build another farm. And actually, you're so close to finishing that, go ahead and finish it. Here, we got a bunch of people working the robot jobs, but we're going to favorite them anyways. They've got 166 colonists who aren't doing anything. So we need to put them to work. They're starting to lose amenities, and that's all right. We decided this was going to be a farm world because there is a bonus for that. That's why we're doing it, even though there's a ton of mining districts. So let's put some more people to work there. We need that mixed industry as soon as possible, though, actually. So let's not do that, because what we want to do is put down civilian industries on this slot as soon as it's built. So 294 days from now. And what we can look at is our trades. We're buying a little bit of energy. We're buying a little bit of alloys. We're selling a lot of food. First contact event pending. We need to sign an envoy to investigate, and we have a bunch of those, so we can do that at our pleasure, which is really nice. And I wanted to take a look at ships in the ship designer, because the one thing I've noticed, I have these alien ones listed. One thing I have noticed is that there are a lot more enemies that you're going to face in this game, and a lot more hazards that you're going to face that make shields useless, and that make fighting against shields pointless, meaning you don't want any kinetic weapons on your craft. So as we go along here, we're going to want to have some other designs. We're going to want to have a design that shoots nothing but plasma and doesn't worry at all about shooting shields. And we're going to want to have something that defends in such a way that all it uses is armor or hull points, because there are things like pulsars. This is really neat defense, but I ran into a system that had a pulsar on it, and an enemy was using it as a choke point, and the pulsar makes all your shields disappear, makes them pointless. So it was really hard to take that choke point from them, because I had lots of shields and my gigantic fleet got destroyed. What is this thing over here? Ancient drones. So do we know anything about them? This was something that always kind of upset me a little bit in the earlier version of the game. For those of you who are new to this, you used to be able to click on this ship details and inspection button, and it would tell you, does it use shields or armor or hull? Because some enemies won't use armor or shields. They'll just have a lot of hull points, and you want to use weapons that are really good against hull. And it would tell you what kind of offensive weapons they do. Do their weapons do kinetic damage? Do they do energy damage? Do you need to have more armor on your ships? And then they added espionage to the game, which is totally fine. Espionage is another thing that you have to pay attention to and do, so that when you run into an empire, you have to go over here and say, okay, I need to do espionage them. We can't spy on a fallen empire, but all the other regular empires like us, we can spy on. And it gives us information about them, and that's how we learn about how many planets do they have, how many systems do they have, how are their ships equipped. But the problem is, when they added espionage, they didn't account for things like this that we can't do espionage against. So these things like ancient mining drones and other organic space creatures that we have to fight, they still haven't allowed us to just inspect them. So the only way you can know what these guys do is to send a ship in here and pause the game as soon as you're being attacked, and then look at these guys, which is a shame. So we have the first fleet, and I think ancient mining drones. Well, and so the other way that you can take care of it is just go look online. So for instance, with the mining drones, they have a mining laser that does a lot of damage to armor and hull and less damage against shields. So you want to use shields. And with their defense, they have a lot of armor, so you want to use plasma or laser weapons to do that. So if we wanted to build something that was going to defeat them, then we would go in here to the ship designer and we would say, let's take this design and change it to 3 slots here, and we just want to use, let's see, nuclear missiles bypass shields, but these things don't have any shields on them, so we don't care. So our only real choice is the blue laser, which does 8 to 21 damage, and it's going to do plus 50% damage against your armor, which is what we want. And then on our end, what we're going to want is shields. And then we'll want to save this. This is a Corvette, and we're going to say this as mining drones. The ship design does not have enough power. Oh, it doesn't have enough power. It's missing a little bit of power, so we do have to use a little bit of armor here, because the shields require more power, and we haven't upgraded our reactor. Okay. So we have that. So what we can do is go down to our fleet, and we can say fleet designer, click on this and say retrofit, and turn it into a mining drones one. And then if we order it to upgrade, it's going to spend some alloys to upgrade this to a mining drone class. And then in addition to that, we have 806. So we have 806 alloys, so we can create some more ships. Below the surface of Amory lives a most peculiar organism. Scans the samples show that some sort of mycelium littered with spores. Okay. Try to identify the signal, destination, the fungal trail. I think we got that before, but we didn't do anything about it. So what I want to do is go down here to my shipyard. It's doing all the retrofitting, but I'm also going to say build a couple more of these. Now we got a negative trait on Rin Fujita. They grabbed, happiness -5 as a counselor. So our empire is going to be slightly less happy now that they're in charge. Well, we'll just have to live with it. So Massa Worm can upgrade. Massa Worm can have this upgraded, but what's its... It still... Oh, it has some colonists and most of its jobs are full except for its metallurgist jobs. Let's upgrade this then. That upgrades the capital, unlocks some more options for us. Spaceborne Organic. Enterprise has found an anomaly on Nishpan. Okay. I want it to finish surveying the system first, though.
Anomaly found.
Janus is doing its mixed industry. That's our big thing. That's what we care about right now. Don't count your planets. Our scientists have discovered something rather monstrous. The mountain range they scanned earlier was actually the outer membrane of a gigantic egg. It's uncertain what behemoth could lay such an egg and what horror should hatch from it. Crack the egg. We might get something friendly. Or it might just destroy our whole entire empire. Okay, so, and your task completed, it said. So, we haven't looked at this yet. This is new, your empire timeline. You can see these are, that means it's being completed, and we get rewards for this. So, adopted a tradition, built a mining district, completed 3 agendas, built 5 corvettes, hired a scientist. So all these things, this is a little bit like a quest log. It's kind of trying to direct you to do certain things. But here's the part that I don't yet get. So what do I get from doing this? These, you could see how we're pushing these forward. We could do exploration and development. This changes the current empire focus. It costs us a little bit of our unity to do that. But what happens when these fill up, I don't know. So I have no idea what this is all about. Milestone. New colony. Great. These are neat. It's a neat timeline of your milestones, but do I get something from filling this up? I don't know. Exploration. What do we get from changing exploration focus? Let's set this right now. That should probably be the default when you start the game. Let's see what that gets us for completing this, because I honestly don't know. It's just not something I've been paying a lot of attention to in my other game. New resource, exotic gases, which will be key. That's awesome. And then the workplace motivators unlocks extended shifts, worker pop resource output +5, which is the last thing that we get there. So now we get our second ascension perk. So this is something else that you kind of need to have a plan for as ascension perks, because you only get the 8. So what I like to do is, first of all, I'm going to go down here and I'm going to say there are a couple of these down here that I really want to have. I want Galactic Wonders and Master Builders at the end of the game. So that is 2 really important ones. I probably want also Galactic Contender, because this is going to give us a lot of diplomatic weight, which is kind of the minor thing, but more important, damage to fallen empires is +33%, and damage to awakened empires is +33%, damage to gate builders, and damage to void worms, which we're kind of going to need. And you can't take this until you've taken 3 other ascension perks, and void worms are kind of like an early crisis, so we're going to want the damage against them. So those 3 slots are taken. The other one that I like to take toward the end of the game is the Arcology Project, because it gives you an EQ Monopolist. You don't need this, but what this does is allow you to generate tons of alloys, which if you're going to build fleets and repair fleets and have a lot of fleets, you want. That takes up 4 slots all by itself. Now, then you're probably still going to want one of these. Biomorphosis, flesh is weak, synthetic evolution, mind over matter. These are how you specialize your species. You're either going to do it through genetic traits, you're going to take on cybernetics, you're going to become synthetics, or you're going to take on psionics abilities. And all of these allow you to tweak your species in a way that makes them better, which is really cool. But you got to pick one of these. So if you pick one of those, then you're down to 3. And we've already picked one. So it becomes, what do we want our first 3 to be? And since we can't get galactic force projection until we've picked 3, that means your first 3 are kind of important. Grasp the Void gives you 5 more star bases to have. And faster than light travel technologies now appear 1.5 times the normal rate. Enigmatic engineering is going to give you cloaking strength and encryption, which I don't really care. You can steal technology from empires, but I didn't find that it happened very often. Lord of War is going to give you 1 more enclave in it. What you can do is turn fleets of yours into mercenary units that can be hired out by other empires, and then you can hire them out yourselves, and it allows you to then build like a second fleet that's your fleet. I'm still not a huge fan of the usefulness of this. Technological ascendancy is going to give you a better chance for rare research options. One Vision is going to give you 10% more monthly unity and 50% more governing ethics attractions. So everybody that immigrates to our empire is going to be more likely to take on the ethics of our empire. Mastery of Nature is really neat because you're going to get 2 more districts per each planet. And this is cool, but you have to spend several pieces of resources and some time to make it happen as a planetary decision on every planet. And it doesn't really become something that you can do to your planets until you're quite a ways into the game. So it's definitely not something I recommend taking early. Imperial prerogative, empire size from planets. Now you take a penalty up here when your empire is of a certain size. So our total empire size is 140. Anytime you're over 100, you start to take penalties. So you can see our technology cost is 8% and our tradition adoption cost is 8%. So anything that we can do to bring that down is better. And we're getting 32 districts is giving us a plus 16, and 23 systems is giving us a plus 11. 5 colonies is giving us plus 50. So reducing the empire size from planets, that would make it 25. And giving us 2 more officials, I like this one a lot. So this goes into my thing. I like to into my plan. Again, this is kind of the RPG part of it. This reminds me a lot of a role-playing game where if you're playing Pathfinder Wrath of the Righteous or Dungeons & Dragons, Baldur's Gate 3, whatever, you really kind of want to know your build ahead of time. And that's why they give you respec options, because you don't know your build ahead of time and you know you're going to make mistakes. But when you do know your build ahead of time, then you can just zoom down the line of choices and get your build working as early as possible. This is the same kind of thing. It really pays to have a plan. And so given this, I'm going to take Imperial Prerogative as my next one. I like having 2 more officials, but really the empire size from Pops. And you can see this went down from 140 to 115. And as we expected, colonies went down to plus 25 instead of plus 50. So that's going to help us quite a bit to keep our costs down. And that means our technology cost and tradition adoption cost went from 8% to 3% penalty, which is great. So every little bit counts in that regard. So there's a planet here and it's a tropical world. Oh goodness. And that would also work as a choke point. And it would work as a choke point sooner because we can actually colonize it. So you're going to, what do you do? You're investigating that. Okay. +1 orders. You can skip that now. Survey immediately. Do that.
Upgraded.
Survey and immediately do that so he can go over there and capture this. This would be fantastic. The Exile. The readings originated from a small research outpost which the democracy of Elandria has no records of establishing or indeed authorizing. On the surface of Emery 6, it is staffed by one Elandria scientist, a fairly talented and industrious one if their research on Emery is anything to go by. There is a problem with regards to their identity, however. We have been unable to match them against official state records, and they refuse to identify themselves save for stating that they are an exile. They have expressed an interest in returning to Elandria and serving the democracy, on the condition that the Tachyon immediately depart Emery 6 and no Elandria ships ever return there. Out of the question. Search every nook and cranny of that outpost. I think I've always welcomed them back to the fold because we get a level 3 scientist, but no, I want to know this time what's going on there. Let's find out. Cold and empty. There's nothing unusual about the research outpost itself. It is a little but temporary shelter erected against the savage elements, allowing surface-level planetary study for a limited time before it wears down and conditions become untenable. The outpost on Amory 6 is nearing the end of its lifespan, but the planet's intense chill has yet to critically degrade the impermanent structure. The equipment, functional, cheap, and intended to be abandoned, is well used. The local databanks are filled with detailed but ultimately mundane accounts of the planet, as well as simple experiments that were carried out in its harsh environment. Curiously, no closer examination seems to have been made of the mineral outcropping that Outpost Foundation rests on. Scans by the tachyon indicate that the geological formation, a mountain mostly buried under ice, may be partially hollow. More alarmingly, Science Officer Chan Tan reports that the sole inhabitant of the outpost, the mysterious exile, has gone missing and is nowhere to be found. Puzzling. Okay. Well then, Chan Tan Tachyon. Alright, Chan. Tell us what you find there. We're losing a little bit of trade, and I would like to not do that. So let's sell a bit more food here. See if that puts us in the black there. And it does. Right at a 0. Okay. Oh, there's more alloys over here too. So this is not a dead end. In fact, it stretches off in this direction. So what are you doing? You're going over there, and then we're going to survey that. Vessel seized. Our explorers knew first contact to be a dangerous affair, but none could have predicted just how true this would be. In a violent assault, the Sade alien seized our vessel, landing a boarding party before emergency faster than light could be engaged. Despite our crew's valiant efforts, the attackers, a million aliens that move with frightening coordination, were able to overwhelm our defenses. The last visual feeds we received before all signals cut off suggest that the enemy had captured much of the crew alive and were intent on interrogating them, probably with the intention of finding out more about us in preparation for further hostilities. Worrying, very worrying. Okay. Vessel seized. That's not good. Death of a great leader. Scientist Estelle Moss has passed away. Oh no. Name on the wall. Estelle Moss's name and title are carved on a towering monument alongside others who have served the democracy of Elandria for the good of the population. Oh, she dies and we get monthly unity for 5 years of plus 15% instant stability. So we need another scientist, I'm sure. What are you doing? You're filling up all these slots over here. There's an unclaimed system over there. We don't have a lot of influence left, though. Is there something else I can have you do until then? Is it more important to go get this stuff? Not sure. Not sure what I want to do here. There's alloys over here. But you really should keep working on this area over here. Let's do this. Let's grab, there's an archaeology site here. Let's grab these minerals. So what happened to our scientist? She was on one of these ships and she died. Cortez has Rin Fujita. Mr. Spock and the Tachyon has Chantan. Oh, okay. I thought Moss was on one of those ships. Maybe not. Avalonian warriors sighted. Privateers operating the frontiers of our space. So these guys are marauders. We can hire them to attack our rivals, and our rivals will certainly hire them to attack us. So, where are they located out of is the question. The Marauder clans right here, where are they located? They're over here. Okay, Avalonian freeholders. Well, There we go. The Last of Us, and here's Janus. Janus needs this. Civilian industries, because we're down to 9. Let's do that and put some of those people to work. There we go. Some of those jobs are already being worked, which is great. And then on The Last of Us, they can also be upgraded. They have what? They have no colonists. Everybody's working, and they got scientist jobs available and nobody there. So... the cruelty of the Sade aliens. Our explorers knew first contact dangers, yes. The visual feeds from within the ship have now been cut off, but not before showing us the unspeakable atrocities the aliens are committing against the hostages. Cutting them open and studying their insides even while they are still alive. We must assume that the hostilities are inevitable when faced with a civilization that would act in such a manner. Okay. Well, that means that we're going to have to build fleet power. Okay, so you're at 1.1k. You can take care of these ancient drones. I'm just not sure we want to. Which direction are these Sade aliens in? That's the problem right now, is we don't know. Toxic terraforming candidate discovered. You saw in our traditions that one of the things you can pick is the detoxify. Enables the terraforming of toxic world candidates in habitable worlds. So you'd have to waste a whole ascension perk on that just to detox 1 or 2 planets. I'm thinking no. Why that's not a research option, I'm not sure. This world can be upgraded, but it's going to provide a whole bunch more jobs that we don't need. And until we need the housing, I say don't worry about it. We need to fill these jobs. And currently there are 60 scientist jobs there that are not being worked. So let's wait till that gets a little more full. Archaeological site is discovered. Okay. Now we have this science ship here. It says, I have done all of that there. Okay. I really want you to find out what's going on over here. Go do that, and then on the way back, we will start putting you to work. Actually, you know what? We can probably get another scientist. We should be able to pick up another leader. And actually, we cannot. You can see up here on your leaders tab how many of each you can have. We are maxed out at 4 scientists right now. We can have 3 commanders and 2 officials. But we do have, it says we have 4 scientists. So who are our other scientists? What are they doing? Oh, our chancellor is ruling. Okay, that's why, because he's a scientist. Okay. All right, buddy, keep ruling. We'll do what we can with the 3 we have.
Construction complete.
Losing a little bit more money again. We can afford to sell a tiny bit more food. Normally, the thing that I end up selling a lot of is Sade aliens. Our first contact process with Sade aliens has been abandoned as they want to establish communication, and we are now transmitting from the Groknaploran entity. So that Sade was a code name. First contact, let's see what they are. And this is why. The Gestalt consciousness. Oh, great. Your kind represents a grave threat to the hive, Elandrian. We have already begun forming contingencies to mitigate the rescue pose. So this will give us 50, a plus 50 change of opinion to them to us. I don't know if it's going to be enough to make them not want to kill us, but here's what we can do. So they're here and they're minus 720 in their hive mind. Let's go see where they are. They're way up here. Okay. Well, we have a lot of envoys. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to start creating a spy network with an espionage to gather information on them. That's number 1. Then we're going to go to diplomacy, and we're going to try to improve relations with all of our other envoys. We want them to be non-hostile to us until it's time to be hostile. So these people can't be moved once we use them, but we're improving relations, and we'll see this number hopefully go down after a time. And we establish a spy network. And so once our intel level goes up, once our This is the thing I'm not really good at, is the espionage. I don't really understand it. This is our intel level. And we have something called infiltration level. So once our infiltration level moves up, and the way this moves up is just by having somebody assigned to your spy network, I believe. It just naturally progresses over time. Once you get it to a certain level, then you can do these tasks. Like at level 6, we can gather information. And this has an infiltration level requirement. So once we're at infiltration level 10 and our difficulty is 6, I'm not sure how all these numbers work out. Anyway, it's one of these things I really need to learn more of. It's really confusing, and I probably need to learn it and then make a tutorial on it. But the big thing we're going to be doing is gathering information to try and figure out what are their ships like, how many planets do they have, what are their defenses like. So we'll do that. For now, we can unlock a destroyer. The arc furnace capacity unlocks the mega structure, the arc furnace. Utilizing the raw power of molten planet, the arc furnace unlocks otherwise inaccessible minerals and improves system-wide mining operations. That sounds important. So does the Starhold. Man, this is a rare tech. I kind of want to get it while I've got a chance. This is going to take a long time. 57 months. Okay, go do it. Improved deflectors, or research station, or capacity subsidies for the energy grid and the fusion reactor. All good choices. 10% more research would be nice. Let's get the fusion reactor going. Okay, now we're losing food because we're buying this and we don't have to. Buying energy when we no longer need to, so. You, my friend, yes, you're there and you have no orders, so didn't I just give you orders to go over here? Already surveyed. This is already surveyed? How is this already surveyed? Who is here? The Groknaparian entity is there. Oh, they grabbed this. Okay. Our choke point is here. Tundra World, we still can't. I'd like to have that world. We're probably just gonna have to fight them for it, though. Yeah, and there's a black hole there that I'd like to have, but we're not gonna get it. Okay. What should we do then? I guess we should just work on these things. He's going to kick us out. They're probably gonna go grab this. We could try and take it as quickly as possible. Let's go try to research that and figure out what it is. You're busy working this, but the next thing I want you to do is grab that, and we're going to see about butting up against these guys. So our nearest neighbor is going to be a hostile jerk. Well, that doesn't surprise me. This one's almost done. He's over here surveying. This branches off in that direction and back in this direction. So unless there's a planet here that's not going to be a satisfactory choke point. I mean, we'll use it as a choke point, but it won't be satisfactory. Planets are how you really want to do things. Okay, we've come to visit your systems to save you from growing too rich, so we can offer them tribute. And if we don't, they'll come raid us. I have plenty of minerals. You can have some of those. They're going to be a thorn in our side until we get powerful enough to defeat them. As are many things. Still not working any of those jobs. Okay. What are we looking at here? We got colonists 29. Just now, you guys need to... You guys need to be doing something. What do we have here? Colonists. They're robots. That's why. So this is what you need to do, is check and see. Why do we have colonists? Why are they not working? Why are they not ascending to specialists? And it's because these are all robots, and robots can't work any of these specialist jobs. So what we have to do is either build more agricultural farms or build some generator districts in here so that they can do these jobs. Or you could build something over here that's basic that they can do jobs for. But I don't know. Are these specialist jobs soldier jobs? They can't do soldier jobs. I know that much. I think they can work as clerks. No, those are trader jobs. I'm sure they can't do that either. Okay, so the only thing we can do is build one of these two things since we're stuck here, unless we can't clear blockers. So we can't clear blockers. We can't get any more food districts. And we need food processing in order to specialize this district. We could just leave these people as colonists for a while because they don't exactly do nothing. They are providing some stuff. So we'll leave them that way for a while because I'd like to keep this planet specialized in food. And once we get this food processing technology, then you can take this and specialize it, and it'll give you 3 more building slots that can only be used on food related stuff. And some of them will provide a lot more jobs. So the Nema World event chain, our breeding program, bears fruit as we add another Nema to our ranks. This juvenile is quickly acclimated to our presence and we have founded a stable habitat. The Nema should now be ready to bear our industry. Okay. Which world is this on? Outland. Okay. We're going to change the name of this. I want Nema is what we're going to call it. That way I know what it is. It is a mining world. And again, this one can't get rid of dense jungle yet. So we can't do any more mining with it. So we still have the same problem with it. We don't have mineral purification. So we can't add 3 slots there. So it's got a bunch of workers though, and they're slowly building up. It doesn't have unemployed colonists, so we don't have to worry so much about it yet. But we're gonna have to. The Last of Us is up here. Okay, so one of the things we can do is this is gonna provide enforcer jobs, politician jobs. Yeah, it's still upgrading. This is not gonna provide more jobs that our grunts can work. But we still could upgrade it. Let's just upgrade it and get it out there. The USG Ishimura is over here. And what I'd like you to do is grab this. Move here. This is going to be surveyed soon. They're at 72%.
System survey complete.
Great. Okay. You're done. Let's see what's off in this direction in case there's even something better. Something worth grabbing. And I doubt it's a dead end. It probably is going to bleed right off into here, but it's always worth checking. And then there are so many other anomalies here that we can get to work on. So how's our fleet over here? These guys are going to suck. We're going to have to... Alien writing, specimen, tales of the mercenary. Someone used a mining laser from orbit approximately 5,000 years ago to carve a large body of writing into the surface of Erasmodon. What do you think it says? The massive script covers a large portion of the planet's upper hemisphere and appears to be a short story chronicling the difficult life of an alien mercenary. That's kind of funny. I'm loath to build anything, but we need to. Let's build it here. We got to start building this. And this is environmental effects, cloaking strength, shield nullification. So we have an environmental effect from here from a nebula or cosmic storm. We have an environmental hazard here. Is this a cosmic storm thing? No, it's just the environmental effect of this particular location. Class K star with an Oronte's shroud. So any shields that we have here for defense are not going to be useful. Which means when we want to come up here and make defense platforms to tag onto that thing, we're going to want to make them in such a way that they don't have shields. So let's look at this. We want to make one of these. Let's see, we can do that. This would be really good. Let's do large mass driver, blue shields up close. What this is going to do is there's going to be no shields here, so there's no point. We're going to shoot lasers from a long way away, and then as they get closer, we're going to shoot these. Because shields are going to be useless, so we want to put this on there. Just lots of armor. And this is going to be our defense platform. I'm going to call it M for mixed. It's going to be a mixed L medium for long and medium range. And then armor, because there's no armor. There's no shields. So I know it's a silly naming convention, but what I want to do is do the small ones then. So when they get really close, I want to do this. We don't really need the reactors on there because our power capacity, if we take this and get rid of it, we can do this. But these are going to get progressively more power hungry as they automatically get upgraded by research, which is why I like to put them on there. So this is going to be, actually, I'm just going to do all smalls on this. When they get really, really close, I just want to hit them with all of this stuff. So these are going to be specifically for this outpost with this environmental hazard. So these are all going to be shorts. They're going to be short range. Jesus, what is my naming convention? These are just going to be short range and they're going to use armor. My naming convention doesn't make any sense. So we'll have those guys and we can build them. The St. Helens platform can go away. We're going to build these guys here and use this as a choke point as best we can. And if we can ever get this planet colonized, it'll be even better. So we could go about preventing these guys from accessing us, which would be great. So you went over there and you successfully did that. Okay, go ahead and do this anomaly. We're going to see about getting our construction ship in there. I do want to grab as much of this as I can, even though during a war we would lose it all until the choke point. Because you can't defend against this. You'd have to have 3 different star bases, and it's just going to pick one and go. Head of research. She can get research into particles 15% as a counselor, but she's not a she is a counselor. She's head of research. Or she can get research speed into computing. So particles or computing. Let's go particles. The Ishimura is down here and it says, okay, what do you want me to do? I want you to build a starbase there. Okay, so you discovered that and discovered that it was just nothing important there. Okay, it's a nice choke point. Research that anomaly. I mean, it's an okay. There's no planets here, so it's a bad choke point actually, but it's the best one we're gonna have because it's no better than this one over here. So we might as well grab all of this and choke point right there. Council agenda already. Mechanical pop assembly speed is going to go up by 10%. And now worker pop resource output, factions, happiness, resettlement destination chance goes up a little bit, or allows the reselection of the council positions. I don't care about that. Automatic resettlement destination chance and monthly trade. Okay, let's do that. Mummified pilot, we get research. Mummified remains of a single individual belonging to a previously unknown mammalian species has been found drifting in high orbit over Ledamath 2. The being is dressed in what appears to be a flight suit complete with helmet and maybe a fighter pilot that ejected in some ancient battle only to be forgotten and left behind. Our study of the corpse has proved some interesting data. The Indus. Your construction ship, yes. Go over here and grab this. There's a, well, move there. We don't have enough to do anything with the Enterprises here. Let's do some research here. We have first contact where? Event pending. Where at? Right here? In our own backyard? Okay, interesting. We don't have an envoy. Well, everybody's helping improve relations, but we're going to grab somebody to do this. Let's take a look and see how improved our relations have been. They went from 740 or whatever it was to 614. So that's a start at improvement. And there are more planets here. A tropical world and a savanna world. Okay, let's... What are you doing? Yeah. Let's see what we can find there. Giant skeleton. What was previously thought to be in assorted mountains in the southern hemisphere of Ectericeron V has been identified as a massive skeletal remains of a single colossal alien life form. Investigate the giant skeleton.
Situation log updated.
Cortez science ship. Yeah, that's your research the giant skeleton. See what happens over there. So Janus, how are you doing? You're getting some people to work those jobs. That's good. Oh, okay. So Janus has a whole bunch of colonists. This is up. Food processing we don't have, but we can build more food here to put these people to work. What's going on? And he's the governor. She's the governor. Okay. And we maxed out at minerals for a second until we started to build some things. That's fine. Okay. Yeah, let's build some stuff. Massive.
Construction complete.
What do you got here? You got a bunch of people working. You got civilians. These are probably all... Yep, all robots. So what can we do here? We can build some more food here for the robots. Okay. Put the robots to work. Gimel aliens. Okay. Proceed. Let's figure out what's going on with them. This is the planet where we couldn't build anymore. So we got workers here working the farms. We got a bunch of research jobs that aren't being worked. In fact, what we can do is then we can't build any more farms and all the workers here are maxed out. So let's not specialize in that anymore and have some people move over to research. And in this case, let's specialize research and say, what do I really need? Let's get the food production one. It's going to be in sociology. So of the people who are working research, we're going to force them all into that. And we can, in fact, put a research lab up here. We can do materials, administrative office, research labs. We got plenty of research jobs, though, but yeah, we don't need to build anything, actually.
Research complete.
I'm getting ahead of myself. And there's some research. Naval capacity. So, tile blockers. Okay. This is not the one we actually need, but that's fine. And then there's gene clinics. Gene clinics are okay. They're not fantastic, but your organic pop speed is going to grow 10% faster. I want to get the blockers out of the way. Let's do that. They don't take long to do. 37 months. Okay. Yeah, grab this. We're really hurting for influence. Lost Amoeba. The Enterprise is located at the source of the movement in the upper atmosphere of Tarzade 2. Surprisingly, there was no ship hidden in the clouds, but rather a young space amoeba. Its mother nowhere to be seen. There was no way of knowing how this juvenile was separated from its mother or others of its kind, but one thing is certain. It appears to have imprinted on the Enterprise. Well. Well, as the crew completed their survey, they found that the amoeba was following them. It has proven difficult to shake, and Mr. Spock has taken quite a shine to the youngster's determination. Very well. We become the new owner of a lost juvenile. Okay. So that shows up here. We're going to let it just... I wonder if it will keep following the Enterprise or not. We'll see. It will grow bigger. The question is, do I want to go down here and attack these guys? There are alien vessels here, and alien space amoebas there, and ancient drones there. Do we want to go earn some experience? You guys have what, 1.2k? We have enough to build a few more ships. Let's build a couple more and see if we're going to be good enough to take those guys on. So we can now pick another tradition. All right. I think this becomes an easy choice. We could take diplomacy, but that's not going to give us much. It's mostly for federations, trust cap, trust growth. They would trust us faster. We could make these our hostile neighbors like us sooner. Adaptability is all about leaders, basically. Oh, no, it's not. It's habitability 10%. That's nice. I like that a lot. Max districts, resettlement cost. Expansion, starbase influence cost is less, which would be great. Colonies, empire size from systems. Oh, man. That's why you want expansion. Empire size from systems. Oh, I really want that. Starbase upkeep is less. Pop growth speed goes up. Colony development speed goes up. Starbase influence cost goes down. Man, I want all of this. I really want all that, but I'm also going to want supremacy because our neighbors are hostile. I think we can hold them off for long enough, though, that we can get supremacy next. Because this does all kinds of stuff with commanders and damage versus star bases and hip fire rate. It's all good. Naval capacity plus 20%. You want all of that. We want all of that, but right now I want expansion. So we're going to grab expansion.
Council agenda available.
Okay. Well, I think this is where we're going to leave it for now, folks. Special project completed. Okay, let's read this and then we'll be done.
Complete.
After continued studies of the massive skeletal remains found on this planet, the science officer Wren has concluded that the creature served as some kind of organic starship. Much smaller bones from at least 3 separate species were found within the larger skeleton, and we assume these came from members of the crew. For unknown reasons, the organic starship suffered catastrophic damage and crash-landed on this planet. While we cannot begin to understand the biological engineering necessary to grow a starship like this, the study of these bones alone has substantially advanced our knowledge. So, and then there's an encounter here, and we can take an envoy and put them on that. He's doing first contact. We'll do that later when the first contact is finished, because I want to keep the maximum number of people working on making this person friendly. So we want to do that. We want to finish these ships over here, go blow up these ancient drones, and then start moving everybody over to here, to this place. This is set up. We're going to start doing this. Gun batteries and crew quarters so that we can dock our ships there, because we're going to want to put all our ships right here. So folks, that's it. The end of this episode. As we forge ahead, numbers up here look pretty good still. We're going to need some more consumer goods really soon, though. And that's where the planet Janus is going to have to get some people employed. So what we can do right here is we're not so concerned with creating robots anymore. So let's make everybody do that. And we'll see how this number changes at the end of this month, because it should jump up quite a bit. All right, I'm going to leave it here. Everyone, thanks for watching. You know the drill. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, leave questions, comments down below. I'll see you next time. And until then, happy gaming, everyone.